Hi, guys. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll just take a couple of more minutes for people to allow people to arrive. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well and the days are nice and bright as here in Nova Scotia. It's nice and beautiful today. It's been a little bit rainy, but yeah, like today it's been a beautiful day. So I really hope you also have a nice weather. Take your time to arrive, to set up your map, to find any props that you use frequently. I suggest for today's class, I suggest we use a block or a water bottle works as well. I don't have a water. Let me see. Yes, I do have a water bottle. Yeah, and I'm just gonna put this here. So when it comes to the time to use that, we can use it, and or a thick book as well. I do have a thick book with me as well. And yeah, I just give different options for you in case you don't have a block, and not everybody has blocks available at home. To support your hips with your block or a cushion, I wouldn't use a book, at least not this one, but maybe a cushion or something nice to keep the hips nice and lifted above your knee. So we let the knee come to the ground, allowing the spine to be tall, letting your hands rest on your thigh, your hands opening towards the sky. So take a moment here to connect to our breath. Start to find that connection with your breath, with your presence on the room, with your presence on your mat. Letting go of any other thing that is not here right now in your mat. Any worries at work or with family, anything. We are going to put it aside for a moment, and we're just going to concentrate for 45 minutes on our breath and our practice. Allow yourself to be present in here. Letting your spine be long. Your navel slightly coming in. Take one more inhale. And a long breath. One more just like that. Deep inhale. Maybe you exhale through the mouth to let it go. If you feel comfortable, bring your hands at the center of the chest in Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment to find your intention, your sankalpa, or any dedication to your practice. If you feel comfortable at home, oming with me, please join me with the sound of Om. If not, just enjoy the sound. Deep inhale, Om. Sahana bhavatu, Aviryam Garvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mahim Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Releasing your hands. Bringing your hands to rest on your knees. Rolling the shoulders back, open the chest slightly. On the exhale, we round the spine, bringing the shoulders in. Take a deep inhale. Maybe you open the chest a little bit more. On the exhale, we round the spine, touching the tailbone. Let's do that again. Deep inhale, open the chest in a seated cow pose. On the exhale, we round the spine, shoulder blades away from each other. Take one more breath. Maybe you open a little bit more, joining shoulder blades together. On the exhale, we round the spine deep. Last one, inhale to open the chest. Maybe you look up. On the exhale, we round the spine, chin tuck. Coming back to neutral position, raise your hands towards the sky. On the exhale, start finding your twist towards your right hand side. Your left hand comes to your knee. The other hand comes to the back of the mat for support. If you need to remove your block from underneath your hips, please do so. Take one more breath as you keep on sitting tall. Long breath out. Last inhale. Full exhale. Leave the hand where it is, the left hand on your right knee. As you start bringing the right hand towards the ceiling and leaning towards the left hand side. Finding a nice side body stretch from your sit bones to the tip of your fingers. Take one more breath. And a long breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, release, reach your hands towards the sky. And on the exhale, we twist towards the left hand side. Right hand comes to the knee, the other hand back for support. Take one more breath as you sit tall. Exhale it out. Maybe you twist a little bit more, finding more space. Take one more breath. Full breath out. Keep your right hand where it is. The other hand travels towards the sky. We lengthen in here as we start leaning towards the left hand side, towards the right hand side. Take another breath. Maybe your gaze comes towards your top thumb. Long exhale. Last inhale. On the exhale, we release back to center. Bring your hands forward. Press your fingertips on the floor as you start finding a nice forward folding here. Try to keep your sit bones rooting from the ground, pressing your hands on the ground as well. It doesn't matter if you don't go too far away. Keep your chest open instead. Take one more breath. And out. Last inhale, keep rooting down. Long exhale. Pressing those hands on the floor, transition into your tabletop. As you find your knees underneath your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders. Take a breath here. And a long breath out. We're gonna warm up those wrists, finding some circles towards the right hand side. As you press your hands down into the mat, start feeling the pressure in every corner of your hand. Take another breath. And a long breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center and we go to the other side, pressing those palms, activating those wrists. Take another inhale here. Try to keep the back flat. Long exhale. Coming back to center, switching your fingers towards the sides of the mat this time. Take a nice inhale as you press side to side, coming a couple of times side to side, just leaning towards the right and towards the left, feeling the activation of the wrist. Take another in and out. Whenever you're ready, coming back to center, press those hands on the ground. Tuck your toes this time. Sitting your hips on your heel. Taking a nice toe stretch. Oh, it's not so nice, but it's really useful. So we tuck the toes, we sit the hips on the heels. If this feels like something you really, really hate, you have the option to bring a block or a cushion underneath your hips to help support a little bit the weight, or maybe just keep this pose all the time, if that's something that is not in your practice. Take a nice deep inhale here, reaching your hands towards the sky. On the exhale, we squeeze shoulder blades together, cactus arms. Deep inhale as you reach up. Exhale to squeeze. Try to keep the ribs in. Take a deep inhale, reaching up. The toes are still tucked. Exhale to squeeze. Last one, inhale, reaching up. On the exhale, squeeze, cactus arms. Maybe you stay in here and you take a nice deep inhale. Or maybe you reach your hands back, interlacing your fingers, rolling the shoulders back a little bit more. As you open the chest, bringing the ribs in. Take one more breath. On the exhale, release your hands, plant the hands on the ground, untuck your toes, and maybe tap them a couple of times on your mat. It's gonna feel nice. Whew. Press those hands on the floor, coming back into your tabletop. We're gonna find a little bit of mobility on our hips here. Reaching your right leg behind you, toes at 6 o'clock. Leg is straight and long, press into those hands. Take a breath here. On the exhale, move your right leg towards your right hand side, dropping the foot to the ground. Take a nice deep inhale as you lengthen your spine. Long breath out, pressing that foot on the ground. Using the strength of your hip flexors, so bringing your foot up again, coming back to center. And as we draw the leg back to center, we cross it a little bit from the midline. We tuck the toes under and we'll lean our hips towards the heel. We're not gonna move too much in here. We're looking at a nice hip stretch in this one. Take another breath and out. Inhale to lift the foot up again, coming back to center. On the exhale, we draw the leg all the way towards the right hand side, and we press the foot on the mat, on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, rise up, bring your hands to your hips and into gate pose. Take a nice deep inhale, reaching your hands towards the sky. On the exhale, side bend, bringing your hands to rest on your leg that is long. Take another breath, the other hand reaches towards the sky. Long breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we drop the other hand. The left hand this time comes to the ground, and the other hand comes towards the ceiling. If the floor is too low, use your book, use your block, or your water bottle as well. Take another breath and out. If you have a little bit more space, start as well using your hip flexors, rising up again, the right leg off the ground, maintaining it there. Take one more breath. Full exhale. Inhale to start coming back to center, rise back up, bringing your hands towards the sky. We're gonna use an imaginary beach ball in between our hands, all right? So bring your beach ball forward. The back foot is gonna step a little bit closer, the toes are on top, a little bit closer towards the midline to give a little bit of space. As you lean forward with your beach ball, without using your hands, let your hips travel all the way down until you find your sit. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, we'll lean towards the right hand side. We take a breath, keep those arms as parallel as you can. Long breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center. Use again the strength of your hip flexors. Rise your legs. Cross it over in a seated position. Take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, we twist towards the left-hand side. Take a nice breath. And a long breath. Last inhale. Full exhale, start coming back to center without touching the ground. Come back to your tabletop. Beautiful. A few cat-cows here. Take a deep inhale as you open the chest, coming into a cow pose. On the exhale, cat, round your spine. Take a deep inhale, drop the belly to open the chest, cow pose. On the exhale, we round the spine, pushing the ground away. Coming back to center, this time, change sides, reaching the left leg up and back. We know where we're going. The leg is long, toes at 6 o'clock, pressing into those hands, back is flat, navel in. Take one more breath. On the exhale, we start bringing the leg towards the left-hand side this time. The foot rests on the floor as we press the hands away from us. Take another breath. And out. Using the strength of the hip flexor, rising it up again. The leg is straight. On the exhale, we come back to center and we cross it over the midline. We press the foot on the ground, touching the toes, sending the hips a little bit back towards the heels. It might not move too much, but it's gonna feel really nice on your hips. Take another inhale here. Full breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center. Keep that leg straight again, sending it over towards the left-hand side. This time, planting the foot on the ground. Rise up, hands to your hips. Gate pose. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, we'll lean towards the left-hand side this time. We let the left hand rest on your extended leg. The other hand reaches towards the sky. Take another in. Full breath out. Inhale to come back to center. Switch hands. The right hand comes to your block, to your mat, to your book. The other hand reaches up. Option to stay here, hugging into the core, or maybe bringing the extended leg up. Take a nice deep inhale. The foot is active. Long exhale. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center. Rise up. Hold on to your beach ball. He comes forward again. Again, the back toes are untucked. Move the foot a little bit closer towards the midline, so we give a little bit of space for our hips to go back. Take another breath as you slowly, without using your hands, go all the way down to sit on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, we'll lean towards the left-hand side. The leg is straight, foot is active. The other foot is pressing on your inner thigh. Take another in, arms parallel. Long breath out. Inhale to come back to center, using the strength of those hip flexors again, bringing the leg up straight and bending it over to sit in Sukhasana, easy seated position. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, we twist towards the right hand side and we take a breath. And the long breath out. One more in. Full exhale. Inhale to come back to center, coming all the way into our tabletop again. And as you come to your table, tuck your toes, hover the knee, engaging your core, pushing those hands away from us. Take another breath. On the exhale, hips come up and back, coming to downward facing dog. And we take a couple of breaths in here, allowing one knee to bend and the other. Pedaling the feet, maybe finding a little bit of movement with the head, saying yes, saying no. Take another in. Full breath out. One more in. Long exhale. And then next inhale, reach your heels up, bend the knee, walk all the way to the top of the mat. Find a long spine, inhale, exhale to fold. Rooting down through the feet, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands by your side. Surya Namaskar, deep inhale, reaching up. Exhale to fold. Plant those hands on the ground, step back to your plank. With knees or toes, lower down. Find 3 cobras. Deep inhale, open your chest, cobra pose. Exhale to come back down. Inhale to open the chest, press those thighs on the floor. Exhale to come back down. Bhujangasana, 3rd time. Deep inhale, open your chest. On the exhale, we come back down. We tuck those toes, come back to your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale. And a full breath out. And your next inhale, raise the heels, bend the knees. Walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Find a long spine, inhale. Exhale to fold. Rooting down through the feet, bend your knees, Utkatasana. Take a breath, activate those legs. Sitting low, your hands towards the sky. Take one more breath. On the exhale, hands to the center of the chest. Start feeling the activation of your left leg rooting down through the ground as your right heel comes off the ground. Take one more in. On the exhale, we send that right foot back, coming into high runner's lunge, Vimanasana. Hands towards the sky. At any point, you may bring your knee down if necessary. Take another in. Full breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, bring the back heel to the ground, opening up to warrior 2. Take a nice inhale here. And a long exhale to land, and maybe bring your hips a little bit lower. Take another breath, extend your arms, reaching far away. And a long breath. Straighten that front leg. Hinging forward, finding Trikonasana, triangle pose. And in here is where we need the block or the book or the water bottle for support with our lower hands to help keep that straight line on our spine. So if I don't have too much room and I try to reach down, what's gonna happen that my chest is gonna come down, and this Trikonasana is gonna look a little bit sad. So instead of doing that, I bring my water bottle or whatever I have for me to support myself and press into that, giving a little bit of length, helping me to open the chest. Take another breath. Full breath out, bringing the hips towards the midline. One more in. On the exhale, soften that front knee, start coming back to your warrior 2. Option in here, Parsvakonasana, your forearm comes to the thigh, the other hand reaches forward. You can stay here, or you can, if you're feeling a little bit experimental here, finding your Ardha Chandrasana, floating half moon. Using your block or your prop to support your hands, walking the back foot forward as you lift the back leg off the ground. And again, we use the strength of those hip flexors to keep the leg straight as we rise it up. Take another breath here. And out. Last inhale. On the exhale, if you're flying, bend your standing legs, start coming back to your warrior 2. Take another breath. On the exhale, windmill those hands, stepping back to your plank with knees or toes lowering down. Find your back and inhale. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take another breath here. Empty it out. On your next inhale, raise the heels, bend the knees, walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. Find a long spine, inhale, exhale to fold. Rooting down through the feet, bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take another breath here. Exhale, sink a little bit lower, hands to the center of the chest. And again, we feel the activation through the right leg. As it roots through the ground, we raise the left heel off the ground. We take a moment in here as we root down. On the exhale, we send that left foot back to step into Vimanasana, high runner's lunge, second side. We keep the legs nice and long. Again, there is always the option to bring the knee to the ground. Chest is open, maybe hands towards the sky. Take another in. On the exhale, drop the heel, coming to your warrior two, extending your arms towards your thighs. Take another in. And a full breath out. Straightening that front leg, hinging forward to find Trikonasana on the second side. Again, your hand can lower to your shin if you don't have any cup, to a block, to the floor if you have the chest as open as possible. Take a couple more breaths wherever you are, reaching with the other hand. And a long breath out. Last inhale. On the exhale, rebending that knee, finding back your warrior two. On your next inhale, land a little bit more. Bring your hips low. Keep on breathing. Take another breath. On the exhale, option for Parsvakonasana, forearm to the thigh. The other hand reaches forward for a side stretch. This is a great option. You can stay in here. If you feel like flying, you know where we're going. So place your prop a little bit forward as you start walking your back foot a little bit closer, supporting your hand on your prop or on the ground as you reach the back foot off the ground. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon posture. Take another breath. The standing leg is strong. Long exhale. If you want to challenge the balance, maybe look towards your top hand. Take another in. On the exhale, if you're flying, start bending the standing knee, reaching down, finding your warrior two, extending your arms. On the exhale, instead of going through a flow, we're going to close the toes towards the long edge of the mat. Hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, we're going to fall forward in between the legs. Dropping the hands on the floor, lengthening the spine. And on the exhale, we walk the hands far away from us in a nice variation of warrior two. Down dog arms with Prasarita or wide leg forward fold. And we feel that stretch from the spine, sending those sit bones back as we try to reach the hands forward. Take another inhale here. If necessary, micro bend your knees. Long exhale. Last inhale. Long breath out. Coming back to center, pressing those hands on the floor, lengthening the spine. On the exhale, listen here, we're going to move the toes to face towards the corners of the mat. Bending the knees, sitting the hips low, bringing the hands to the hips. Goddess pose. Hands to the hips, maybe we find a gentle swaying here, coming from one side to the other, just waking up a little bit the hips in here, trying to keep the spine as straight as possible. Try to avoid leaning forward too much or sending the bum back. trying to keep your spine exactly in over the midline. Take one more breath. Maybe you find your movement in there. Maybe you reach your hands towards the sky. And whenever you're ready to pause in here, maybe you bring your hands wide, your arms wide into cactus shape. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Take a nice breath. And out. Last inhale. On the exhale, reach towards the sky, extend those legs, hands again to the hips, or maybe interlace your fingers this time. Roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, we fold forward over the center of the legs. Prasarita Padottanasana. Take another in. Full breath out. The crown of the head wants to come to meet the ground. Don't worry if that doesn't happen, that's great. That's what we're looking forward at some point. Take another in. And sit out. Releasing your hands. Micro bend those knees. Start coming all the way up to standing. Opening your right toes towards the front of the mat. Windmill your hands, plant the hands, step back, find your flow. From high plank to low, Chaturanga. Find your back bend, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take another breath. On the exhale, release through the mouth, let it go. One more in. And out. Knees to the ground. Taking a moment in here as we rise up. Just a nice back bend in here. We haven't done too many, but this is a nice back bend just to even practice whenever you're feeling that you have leaned forward way too much all day long. Come to your knees, or even you can do it seated, supporting your hips on with your hands, rolling your shoulders back, opening your chest in here. So Strasana can be a very deep pose, but it can also be a very gentle pose. It depends on what you're looking for in your practice. So your toes can be on top or tucked if you wish. Opening the chest a little bit more, sending the hips to the front. Take another breath. If you have a little bit more space, you can reach towards your heels. These might feel too much or not. It can be comfortable. If it's too much, just stay with your hands in your hips. Take another in. Full breath out, maybe sending your ears back a little bit more. Last inhale. On the exhale, we release, coming back to center, hands to the center of the chest, and we sit down on our heels in Vajrasana for a moment. Take a breath. And out. Last inhale. On the exhale, pressing those hands on the ground, sending the legs from to one side and sitting your hips on the ground. As we extend in Dandasana, legs are long, hands are pressing beside us. Navel is coming in. Bringing the right knee towards the chest, stepping the foot on the ground. Okay. So we have the option to use Marityasana as our twist for today, or Ardha Matsyendrasana. So Marityasana, the foot steps on the ground, and it's right, and the knee is right above the heel. Option B is to cross the foot over the straight leg. If this feels, you want a little bit more stability, in case that provides you more stability, bending the other knee, bringing the heel towards the glute. Take a nice deep inhale as you raise opposite hand towards the sky. And on the exhale, we twist towards the right hand side. Wrapping the knee at first. This can be done with your legs straight, as I said, or with your knee, with your foot on the same side. Take another breath here. You have a little bit more space in here. Maybe you cross the elbow and you open your hand in a Vajra Mudra. Take one more in. Full exhale. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center. We uncross. We give those legs a shake and we go to the other side, inviting the left knee in, crossing the foot on the ground, option to stay, option to cross the foot, option to stay in this one, or option to cross the other leg, bringing the heel towards the opposite foot. Sitting tall, sending opposite arm towards the sky, that's your right arm. On the exhale, we wrap the knee with the arm, the other hand comes back for support. Sit up nice and tall. Take another breath. And a long breath out. Again, if you have a little bit more space in here, maybe you cross your elbows and you open your chest a little bit more and you feel that nice simple massage on your lower abdomen. Take a nice deep inhale. Full breath out. Inhale to come back to center, untwist, extending both legs, sitting in Dandasana for a moment. Take a nice breath, rolling the shoulders back. On the exhale, we reach forward with our hands. Maybe your hands hold on to your shins, your heels, your ankles, your feet. Doesn't matter how far they reach, lengthen your spine instead. If you're looking for that connection to the big toes, it's a nice connection with the big toes. But your spine looks like this, maybe bend your knee and keep your spine long. Take another breath. And out, your chin tucking slightly here. Last inhale. Full exhale. As you start finding your Paschimottanasana in here, then that nice long stretch, allow yourself and allow your body to relax in this posture. So instead of reaching all the way towards your feet, maybe let your arms fall towards the side. Maybe let your legs start relaxing in here as your toes turn towards the sides of the room. Maybe your torso hangs in here and your head hangs heavy as you find a nice forward fold. Maybe let your spine round in here. Take another breath. And out. Last inhale. On the exhale, we come back to center, slowly, slowly, bringing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. Maybe here from your squeeze, maybe you extend your legs for a quick Navasana, extending your hands towards the front, opening your palms, taking a nice deep inhale here. A long breath out. One more in. On the exhale, we release all the way to the ground. Letting the arms fold towards the side. Letting your legs rest in here. Tucking your chin slightly. Welcoming your body into the most important posture of your asana or posture practice, shavasana. Allowing your body to rest, repose, giving the nervous system a nice break. Purnamadan, Purnamadan, Purnasya Purnashyate, Purnaste Purnamavai, Purnamevam Vashishyate, Om Purnamadan, Purnamevam, Purnasya Purnashyate, Purnaste Purnamavai, Purnamevam Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lying down in your Shavasana, welcome into your body a nice deep inhale and a big breath out to let it all out, letting everything that you don't need right now. Of course, if you are comfortable in your Shavasana, you're welcome to stay as long as you need. If you're ready to move, start finding gentle movement on your fingers, on your toes, maybe your head that moves side to side. Taking your time, allowing yourself to come back to movement, coming into your field position on your right hand side as you're ready. Taking a moment to acknowledge your presence on the room that you are, on this land, in this world. As you press your top hand on the ground, coming back to your seated position with your eyes closed, Anjali Mudra at the center of the heart. Taking your time, find gratitude for your practice, for your presence, for your breath and your movement. Rub your palms together and cover your eyes. As you rub your palms one more time to cover that part of the body that needs it the most right now. Thank you so much for your practice, for your presence in here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. See you next time. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Okay.